I would say so much of it is relationships. One of my early mentors, coming back to your question, was Izzy Sharp, the chairman and founder of Four Seasons. And in Four Seasons, one of the steadfast rules, and it's stayed with me true to this day, is treat people as you'd want to be treated. Really, the golden rule. It's said in lots of different ways. It exists pretty much in every culture out there in the world. It exists in a lot of different religions, but that's always stuck with me. And so, back to your question around recruiting, I've always tried to make sure that I'm making a positive impression on people. And it's such a small world. It's amazing how many people that I've worked with before in the past, that although I'm not calling them to see if they have an interest to join us, because they're very successful in their own right, I am calling them to say, hey, you know what, I'm looking for this person. I'm kind of striking out right now in my ability to find somebody in my Rolodex, in my list of contacts, that I think is a good fit. It's amazing how many people, friends and primarily work associates, people that I've worked with along the way, who have been really helpful in helping us identify talent. And so I've always done the same too. I must be on every headhunter's Rolodex or call list. Over the years, I've had so many people call me from search firms asking me. So it's a little bit of also payback at this point in time, because I do call some of them now and say, hey, I'm struggling to fill this role. Help me out, point me in the direction of someone you think might be a good fit. The other great thing is that today, probably one of the best tools out there, I think, especially when you're searching for professionals in the hospitality business, is LinkedIn. It's a great tool. We leverage it a lot. We found it to be very, very successful. While we have a website and we do put up our jobs that are open and we're recruiting for on that website, LinkedIn just allows you to broadcast a really great, clean message out there. And we've had tremendous success, to the point where we think we're going to have a job posted on LinkedIn for 7 to 10 days, and quite often we're saying, okay, turn it off, right? We've got way too many candidates to sift through at this point in time.
What do you think you're doing different on LinkedIn? Is it more storytelling? You're getting the message out there?
I think we tell the story of the company. We don't just sort of post a job description and say this is a job description. We definitely tell the story of who we are and what we're all about and the focus. And I think that's brought people in. It's probably, for some people, said maybe not for me either, right? So I think we're getting to a tighter list of people that are really interested in what we're doing. And I think it's the more information you can put on LinkedIn, the better you are. We're very transparent. Today in California, you have to post salaries, right? And you have to post a salary range, but I think we go well beyond sort of what's the baseline, so that when people do read it, they understand what we're looking for. They understand what the role is all about. They understand the local place that we might be asking them to join us, and a little bit more about what's the culture within Appellation.
I want to follow up just on this, because hearing our conversation just now, you're leading with the vision, you're leading with story. You mentioned on LinkedIn this channel's working, but it's not just about the channel, it's about storytelling there. But I've heard that you also do spend a lot of time, and you're very strategic on the job descriptions themselves. What do you think you're doing differently, or how do you think about creating a compelling job description?
We always tap our past, so we look at job descriptions that we've used for a particular role. We do it in a collaborative way. Normally, there's 3 or 4 people that are collaborating on that job description and sort of saying, what are we going to do that's going to make this job that much more interesting? We have the advantage of we're building a technology platform that allows us to do a lot more things that in the past you might have had to do very manually. And we're always thinking about, how do we make this job richer? How do we make this job better? So if we can take a lot of those things that before you might have had to create an Excel spreadsheet and do all sorts of things like that in a very manual way, we're trying to automate a lot of that so that people have really great information, really robust information, but also served up to them in a way where it's more actionable and there's more that they can glean from that. So we're always thinking about, how do we leverage that technology as we think about individuals' roles. And while some of those job descriptions might be going back to might be that version of the job 10 years ago, we're seeing how this technology changed that and evolved that too.